everyone, it's Amanda. Today we're talking romance book releases. We're talking 2023, baby. I'm talking 23 books to read in 2023. I'm talking all around the clock. I'm talking opposite.
I'm talking spike and eggnog. I'm talking opposite of small. I'm talking big snowballs.
Anyway, so we're ready to go. I read a lot of indie romance, so a lot of these releases are going to be January and February releases or unknown months, so beware of that. But there's some good ones coming out in January and February. Be sure to like and subscribe down below for bookish content from me. I'd love to have you here, and let's get into the books. All right, so first I have to mention Jennifer Hartman's new duet that is coming out January 17th and then January 31st for the second book in the duet. They're called An Optimist's Guide to Heartbreak and A Pessimist's Guide to Love. I can't wait for this. It looks like it's not going to be like a hit you in the feels type of read, but knowing Jennifer Hartman, I know it's going to pull on my heartstrings regardless. So this is a slow burn, grumpy sunshine, virgin heroine, and I think the guy works at a motorcycle shop and she's going to be working with him, so it's some type of office romance, and it's also best friend's brother. I believe these best friends were tore apart, and now our main character is coming back into the town that she grew up in, like where her best friend lived, and now she's going to be working underneath the brother. So we can't wait for it. I love Jennifer Hartman's books. Then we have The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. This comes out January 31st. It is Cal's book. It is childhood best friends. It is second chance romance, and it is Summer Lake House. His mission to earn the inheritance is to go back to his Summer Lake house for the summer, and this is where all his memories with his old lover lie, except she's there and she claims that she owns this house too. So complicated, forced proximity, can't wait for it. Next we have Madness and Mayhem by A.R. Breck. This is a dark romance. It is the second book in the Hellcrest Hills series, I think it's called. The first one's Slashers and Secrets. I highly recommend for dark romance lovers. It is suspense, slasher, stalker, and spicy. I mean, you can't want much more. I'm really excited to continue on, and it literally just came out. So the second one comes out January 20th. Read the first one if you're into that. Then we have Holly Black's new release, Stolen Heir, which is Oak story set in the same world as the Folk of the Air trilogy, The Cruel Prince, and I can't wait to read it. I love Holly Black's writing. I am so excited for this. I loved The Cruel Prince. I loved everything about that series, and I'm ready to dive in. It comes out January 3rd, which is perfect timing because my birthday is the 7th. So like I'll be able to read it leading up to my 26th year on Earth. So I'm definitely excited for that one. I'm hoping that it lives up to the hype in my brain. Then we have Wild by Michaela Smeltzer. This comes out January 26th, and it is a rock star romance. It is also a forbidden romance because our female main character, she works for the record label that this guy's band is breaking into. They've been told to stay away from his daughter, the producer's daughter, and he simply can't. Hi, honey. You're beautiful, honey. I've had mixed feelings about Michaela Smeltzer's books, so I'm hoping that I like this one. I don't know if I love rockstar romances, but I'm willing to have an open mind. We'll see what happens. Then we have Twisted by Emily McIntyre, and I can't wait for the 4th installment of the Never After series. I love this series. I love every book that has released in the series, so I'm super excited for this one. It's a Aladdin reimagining. It's dark romance. It is spicy. I believe this one is age gap, enemies to lovers, and forced marriage. So I believe Yasmin, her father falls ill, and then she is supposed to marry this guy that he wants her to, but she is in love with a servant, and that just won't do. So she ends up making a deal with this guy that wants power, so Jafar. These are always villain gets the girl stories, so I'm assuming the hero in this story is like Jafar, and I think his name's Julian in this book, and I'm so excited for it. And this one comes out February 7th. Then we have Monica James's new release, which is Heartsick. This is a dark romance slash gothic horror, and we don't know much about it, but I am ready. I've read a few of Monica James's books. I've read the Viking romance, which I wasn't a huge fan of, and I've also read Bad Saint, which is like a captor-captive romance, and I like her writing. It's easy to read and things, so I'm excited to see her take on this horror kind of vibe. And on her Instagram, she pitches this as Frankenstein meets Norman Bates meets Annie Wilkes. So that leaves me intrigued. I don't know much more, but it does come out the 21st of February. Then we have Tessa Bailey's new release, which is Secretly Yours, and I think there's another one too that comes out later in the year, but for this video I just did the Secretly Yours. This one is a grumpy sunshine, opposites attract, forced proximity. I think there's some letters involved if you like that. And I am excited. I'm tentatively excited for this one. I've had a little bit of bad luck with Tessa Bailey recently, especially with My Killer Vacation. I haven't read Happenstance yet, which is like her reverse harem book, but I think this one sounds really cute. It has like a vineyard setting, I think, is what I've seen. So I'm excited for it. I will read it and I will let you know my thoughts on it when it comes out February 7th. And then we have Powerless by Elsie Silver, which is one that I'm most excited for. I am obsessed with this series. I'm so glad I gave it a shot because I didn't think that I would like small town romance. I didn't think that I would like this at all, this series, but I absolutely love it. And this one is following childhood best friends to lovers, and it's going to be so cute. It is I want you, but you have a man that you're gonna marry already, and I can't wait. I've already read like the exclusive like bonus chapter thing, the sneak peek. Jasper's a star hockey player, and our female main character, I forget her name, she is married. She's going to marry another man, and he just found out that she's engaged. So things are going to ensue. It's going to be a spicy time. It's going to be angsty. It's going to be filled with tension because there's that forbidden aspect. And I just can't wait. I can't wait. And we also have hockey. I mean, this is exciting because we've had more of a cowboy kind of flair to things in the previous books, but this one has some hockey involved, so I can get with it. I can get with it. Then we have Free Me by Ashley Rostek. This is the final installment in the Witsec series. This series had me in a chokehold in 2022. It is so good. It's suspenseful. It's just everything. If you like reverse harem, if you like suspense romance, you're going to love this. It follows a girl whose family was murdered by her stalker, and now the stalker is still out there trying to get her, but she's in the witness protection program. She ends up falling for all four of her new neighbors, and they vow to protect her, and they get involved in this dangerous game that she has with this stalker, and it is something else. I was obsessed with this series. It leaves your heart pounding. The books always have a cliffhanger, so now is the time. Now's the time to read the series because you'll get the final installment this coming year. Then we have Coach by Devney Perry. This is a single dad, second chance sports romance that follows a football coach, and I'm excited for it. Single dad has been climbing my trope charts recently, like my faves, so we'll see if I like this one. I think I will. I love a good sports romance, so we'll see how it is. It's also a standalone, which is an immediate yes from me because sometimes I just can't do a whole nother series, you know. I just want one book and done. Then Carrie Lake has a new gothic romance release, which I'm really excited for. It sounds so good. It's called Nocticadia, and it is set at this prestigious gothic type of school that is said to be haunted by the ghost of the patients that once were there. It's also a professor-student romance, and there's a whole lot of secrets to unravel, as with any Carrie Lake book, and I am ready for it. I'm hoping it gives me kind of Twisted Heathens vibes by J. Rose because of that asylum aspect to it. And then Amo Jones has teased that she is doing reverse harem. She's doing a Why Choose romance, and I couldn't be more ready. It's going to be called Boneyard Ties, And then there's another one called Phantom Crush. I'll show you the aesthetic post that she put up, but there's nothing really about these books yet except that it's a gothic romance and she's taking on Why Choose. So I couldn't be more ready. And then of course I'm ready for the new Salacious Players Club books by Sarah Kate, The Highest Bidder and Madame. I'm ready. I don't know who they follow exactly, but I am ready. I will pick them up immediately when they're out. I believe the next installment is Highest Bidder and it comes out in April. So a little bit longer of a release date from what she has been doing with these, but she's also coming out with another start to a series that she just teased, so we'll see what that one is too. But for now, these ones are definitely on my list for most anticipated. Then we have a fantasy romance, A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel Jensen. I have no idea when this is coming out, but it is a Viking romance by an author that I loved the series, The Bridge Kingdom. I loved that. It was so original and unique, and I loved the world that was built in The Bridge Kingdom. It was just stunning and I loved the experience reading it. So I can't wait to see what she does with Norse mythology. And then another fantasy romance we have is Raven Kennedy's final installment in the Plated Prisoners series, Gold. I can't wait to finish off this series. I think I might do a little reread of the series or a little skim, maybe an audiobook on the way to work until Gold comes out, because I love this series. I highly recommend the Plated Prisoners series, especially if you've just gotten into fantasy romance and want something pretty original and just full of twists and fun and steamy romance. Everything about it, the politics, the world, the main character Arin, she is so fun to follow and see her growth throughout the series. She just becomes this woman and you just love to see it. So I love this series so much. Can't wait to finish it. Then I'm excited for Madhouse Part 2 by Liza James. This is a female-female dark romance duet. I think it's a duet and I loved it. It was so good. I liked the theme. It's also step siblings, they're step sisters, and they were raised in a cult and it's really fucked up. So if you like that sort of thing, where their childhood was so messed up and they have a lot of healing to do and revenge to be had, there's kind of a revenge plot going on. The end of book 1, we had this huge cliffhanger, so we're ready to see what happens to the relationship and to their characters. Then we have A Lovely Violent Thing by Trisha Wolfe. This is the second book following Lovely Bad Things, which is one of my favorite dark romances that I read in 2022. In the first book, we follow crime scene investigator Hallen. She's trying to get this professor behind bars for this case that she knows he's the killer. So she ends up testifying against him, which kind of is something she never does. And then she ends up having another case to do a few months later where she ties it back to him again, but he's behind bars. So she drives all the way back to where that crime scene took place to team up with this professor that she put behind bars to solve another case, because she thinks that he's connected, or that at least he can have some insight into what's going on because he's a philosophy professor, and she thinks that some of these things are cult-like or philosophy related. It is something else. It's wild and it's so twisty and it really messes with your brain. You really gotta pay attention. It's very like dark academia and just an interesting spin on a dark romance book. So I'm excited to see what she does with the next installment. And then H.D. Carlton is going to have her book, that is Sibby's book, come out in 2023. There's no known release date or title for it yet, but it has been promised to us. So I'm crossing my fingers that it's going to be in the first half of 2023, but we don't know yet. Indie authors love to just drop it on you to surprise you, so I'm really hoping that it comes out soon. And then we have Foxglove by Adeline Grace. This is the second book to Belladonna, which is one of my favorite books of 2022. It is a YA gothic romance, fantasy, and mystery too. And it was just so good. I absolutely loved it. And lastly, we have Kid by Jesse Hall. This is a He Falls First dark romance with lots of trigger warnings and trauma involved. So I had to end off the list with a new dark romance, a new to me author, and I'm going to read Hawk by her first. I recently was put on the radar for this, so I wanted to include it, even though I'm not sure if I like her writing yet, but I think I will based on what I have seen. I hope you're excited for 2023 and all of the romance releases. Be sure to like, subscribe down below for more bookish content from me. I'd love to have you here for the year, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!